Hello everybody, welcome back. It's been about 5 seconds since I filmed the last video, but I wanted to get the ball rolling and continuing this book haul. If you guys are unaware, this is part 2 of a 2-part book haul that couple has had happen to him. I say happened to him as if it wasn't his choice, but it was indeed his choice, and he bought 18 books even after just buying like 10 other ones. So yes, I pretty much have bought like 30 books in the span of like 10 days, and yes, indeed, was it a mistake? No. That is number one topic. The second topic is the one that will not be addressed in any of these videos, and that is the wig. We will not talk about it, we won't speak about it, we won't even comment on it, people. But that is beside the point, because today we are doing part 2 of my book haul. We did 9 in the previous video, so if you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. And while you're checking it out, be sure to like and subscribe. But today we're going to go over the other 9 books that I have picked up in this book haul. So I'm super excited. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's figure out what I'm going to be reading over the next few months, weeks, years, days. I don't know. Time is a social construct, people. Okay guys, so the first like 3 books I'm going to be covering here today are all thrillers that are pretty well known because they're pretty popular thrillers. I tend to stay away from popular thrillers, but I kind of wanted to try them out because I wanted to try out new authors. So we have a few. The first one's going to be The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. This is a really popular thriller. It was like super hyped up for a long time. I never got around to it, but I'm getting around to it now. And basically, from what I understand, for those who are not aware, there's like this family that was killed, and there was the baby that was in this family, but the baby has been being taken care of. We don't know what happened to the family. We don't know who's been taking care of the baby. It's all a huge mystery. We don't really know what's going on. We just know that there's a family upstairs who is all dead, and that there's a baby who's alive and being taken care of. And we don't know who's been taking care of the baby. So we have to figure that out. I'm really curious. I've actually not been spoiled for this book at all. I've just heard a lot of people talking about it, so I'm super excited to read it because like this amount of hype is kind of setting the bar high, so hopefully we're not disappointed at all, but we will wait to see, won't we? The next one I have for you guys is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is one of the thriller books that when I was first getting a thriller, everyone was like, oh, you have to read this book, you have to read this book. And of course, because I don't succumb to peer pressure, I was like, I am not going to read this book. And the second everyone stopped telling me to read the book, I bought the book. So now here we are, we have the book, and now we're going to read the book. And in this book, how many times can I say book? Basically, we meet this girl named Anna. Anna is living, and I think, I do not remember the specific word, but she's basically scared to go outside, I do believe. I don't know if this is true or not. I do think she's scared to go outside. And even though she's scared to go outside, she watches like the families across the street because that's not creepy at all. And so she watches this one family who's right across from her, and this family is like the picturesque American dream kind of family, right? Fine, whatever. But then she realizes that maybe they're not so perfect, and she sees a horrific crime take place as she's watching this family in a totally not creepy manner. And then she basically has to deal with that. So I don't really know. Once again, I've remained unspoiled about this book, so I'm really excited to pick it up. I just know what it's about because like I think it's like really popular, and it's a movie now, and I'm really stoked to check it out before I watch the movie because we all know we love those book to movie adaptations. Why don't we, people? Okay, the next one I have for you guys is one I literally cannot summarize because I literally know nothing about it. It is going to be Behind Her Eyes, which just came out on Netflix. But that's not important. What is important is that I hear it's a pretty good thriller. It was good enough to be made into a Netflix show, so that says something, doesn't it? I think it does. Maybe it does. I don't know for sure. But that doesn't matter. All I know is that it basically follows 3 people whose names are Luis, David, and Adele. Are you okay there, Nova? Anyways, we are going to follow these 3 people, and basically, from what I understand, there's this like super perfect couple, and their friend basically, as she gets to know them more and more, realizes that maybe they're not so perfect, and they may be kind of screwed up. So I don't really know what the intense part about this book is, but I've heard really good things about it, and I've heard that the TV show is alright, so we're checking it out, people. Let's check it out. Let's get ahead of the hype. Let's get ahead of it. Okay, this book I'm actually super excited for. This is Angel Mage by Garth Nix. I just read The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix, and I literally loved it so much. I will probably be doing a review on it because I loved it that much. But this is another book that he's written, Angel Mage, which is not, I think it's a standalone. I'm like 90% sure on that one. And this one is really interesting. Basically, we follow this, let's just say, this like magical practitioner who is looking for her lover, who is an archangel of this god, and she's like a super powerful angel mage, meaning that she's able to like call angelic powers to her, and she's able to summon angels and stuff, and she basically like forms this ragtag group of people as she goes on this quest to find her lover. I don't really know much more about it except that the magic system sounds super, super, super dope. Like legit, I'm so stoked for this magic system. Like, it's been a while since I've been like shook by a magic system. I think the last time was like probably Mistborn. And I'm really excited to like learn more about this magic system and figure out what this angelic magicness is all about. And I'm really stoked for it. So we're really excited, people. We're very excited over here. I don't know why I keep saying we. I, personally, couple, is very excited about this book. Moving on. This next book is a book that kind of popped up in some random Reddit scrolling, and it like just kind of hooked me in and I had to get it. This is called The Straight Razor Cure by Daniel Polanski. Polanski. Let's go with it. Polanski. And anyways, in this series, it is fantasy, I do believe, though it doesn't come off as fantasy. But anyways, we meet this soldier who is now an ex-soldier, and he kind of has gotten involved in the underground narcotics world and is kind of a drug dealer, I do believe, and he's into some shady business. Things my mom would not approve of me putting on my resume kind of stuff. And anyways, he gets involved in the shady business deals. Fine, it's Besetter. It's not Besetter. Moving on. And he basically starts hearing about these children that are getting murdered. And so he is like, I'm going to figure out who the murderer is. And he starts investigating. I'm really excited for this book because it's in the magic world, supposedly. It's a fantasy book, but I don't know where the magic comes into it, or if it's just like a detective crime that's like taking place in an alternate world. I know very little about this book, but people were raving about it on Reddit and like across multiple forums. So I really want to pick it up and see what it's about, and I'm really interested. And also like the whole like ex-soldier, like troubled like army life, getting involved in drugs, and it just seems like a lot of moving pieces, and I'm kind of excited to see how it all fits together. So this is the next book we picked up. Okay guys, so I've been recently kind of getting obsessed with the whole idea of like thieves guilds and like thievery and heists and that kind of stuff, and as you guys know, I'm planning on reading Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch sometime this year. Since I DNF'd it last year, I'm planning on picking it up again, but in the meantime, I've been kind of trying to see if there's other heist, thievery type not fantasy books that are piquing my interest, and I picked up this one called The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. There's too many A's in this last name. Hanrahan. I am so sorry. I'm totally mispronouncing this, I'm sure. From what I've heard about it, is it basically about 3 thieves who are kind of, you know, thieves, so they're not exactly your model citizens. Don't send your children to a thief daycare system, and they have to basically defend their home turf, their city, from great darkness that is coming to succumb the city. I'm just excited for some heroes that are not heroes. I love the whole like gray, conflicted stereotype for heroes. I really am in love with that at the moment. I love our gray heroes. I get bored of like the chosen one who's perfect. I'm really excited for it. I'm really stoked for it to see how the thieves world plays into being the heroes and all this kind of stuff. I know very little about it outside of the fact that 3 thieves get together and have to save the world. So I'm super excited to see what is the bad guy in this situation, how is this going to play into the thieves world, how is it going to play into the underground, how are these characters going to deal with being the heroes of the story. I'm really excited for this. So, boom. Next, we have a book that literally, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I kind of bought because of the cover. And that is The Stranger Times by C.K. McDonald. This book is gorgeous. Like, look at that. That is fab. Absolutely gorge. And look at the inside, guys. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Anyways, this book, from what I do believe, is about a newspaper. You know, not like a newspaper. I mean like those trashy newspapers that like talk about like alien abductions and like treat them as real news. So anyways, this is one of those newspapers called The Stranger Times, and basically at this newspaper, it's just full of like basically not real journalists, but also real journalists, and they basically figure out that some of the things that they've been reporting on are actually real, And then from there, the story gets started. So I'm really excited to pick this up. It sounds like a really cool, interesting idea. Sounds like a very interesting premise. It also kind of reminds me of the Dresden Files and The Original Girlfriend, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And I'm really stoked to see what this book's about. I don't know, I haven't read anything else by this author, and I'm excited to enter his world and to see how good the book is. I'm really stoked for it. So, moving on. I have two more for you guys, and the first one's going to be TheOne by John Marrs. I have been watching John Marrs for a while. Not that I've actually read anything by him, but I love Black Mirror, like love Black Mirror. And I've been told if you love Black Mirror, pick up John Marrs, because John Marrs is like the Black Mirror novelist. And anyways, not that he wrote Black Mirror. I mean, like, in the sense that, like, it's a similar... You guys know what I'm saying. Let's not draw attention to the wig. Moving on. And basically in this one, it is a one true love type of scenario where if you take a DNA swab, you can get matched with your soulmate, right? Sounds like a pretty good deal, doesn't it? Well, things go sour and things go real bad real quick because, of course, obviously it's a story, and that means that we have to have some conflict here, and that means that if it's about true love, it's not gonna go well. So anyways, I'm super excited to pick this up. This also just became a Netflix TV show, so another great reason why I'm excited to pick this up, because I want to read it before I watch the TV show, obviously. Duh. Okay, moving on to the last pick we have for you guys today, and that is going to be Tyler Whiteside's The 1,000 Deaths of Ardor Ben. Ardor Den. Why is English such a difficult language? By Mr. Ben. The 1,000 Deaths of Mr. Ben is what I'm officially renaming it at the moment. Anyways, this is a series that I've heard quite a few things about. As I mentioned, I'm kind of getting into the whole thieves thing. This is about a man who is like known as one of the best heist con artists out there. And anyways, he gets recruited to go steal from the most powerful king in the realm, and he basically puts together a ragtag group of people to commit this heist and commit this con, when he figures out as they dive more into the job itself that actually there's a lot more in the balance than just a job to be done, and it kind of now falls on Mr. Ben to save the world, or save at least the kingdom, or save the city. So once again, kind of similar to The Gutter Prayer. I'm really excited to check both of those books out. I'm really excited for this book haul. I got a lot of new series starting. I've got a lot of new books coming in. So with now having seen every single book that I have purchased recently, please do comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts? Have you guys read any of these books? I literally, like, a lot of these books were like found through like random recommendations from other booktubers and Reddit, and just like me looking at the shelves. So please let me know what you guys' thoughts are. I'm super excited to read them and hear about them. And I will not be addressing the wig. I am so sorry. We will have to address it in a future video. But that is a great question. Ask me why I'm wearing a wig. Why don't you? But with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm super excited to see you guys in the next video. And I think that's all I have for you guys today. So I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye now.